Are watching, you are witnessing the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and
LaDonna Raeh. Let's go.
Let's go. We had to come right in because the news is hot.
It is. But before you say that, I definitely got to let everybody know, please, if you're on Facebook Live, share the show like 5 or 10 or 20 times. We need you to do that.
We need you to do that. Thank you so much. So everybody, we know what's in the news. And if you don't know, that's okay. That's why you're here, because we're here to tell you. And basically, according to reporting by CNN, the Supreme Court limits reach of the Voting Rights Act. This is a decision today by a 6-3 conservative majority. The SCOTUS rules 6-3 to throw out Louisiana's congressional map. The Supreme Court rejected the map as an unconstitutional gerrymander ahead of the midterm election. The decision will make it far harder for plaintiffs to challenge future maps for racial discrimination, thus limiting the Voting Rights Act. We have a fantastic guest on the live line today. She is a friend of our show and a friend of several shows here on VON because she's a friend of the station.
Definitely.
Professor Gloria J. Browne-Marshall, again, is a professor of constitutional law at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, also known as CUNY. She teaches classes in constitutional law, race and the law, evidence and gender and justice. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, we're gonna get her back on the line.
We'll get her back on the line. Go ahead, and I'll be right back. I have her number.
Sure. So, in seeing all of this, do you how concerned are you? What does this mean for future elections? Number one, if you think about how the Supreme Court justice is ruling this, Louisiana is being, I want to say, accused of gerrymandering based on race in this particular district, creating a second district based on the fact that it is heavily populated by Black individuals or Black Americans. And all I can ask over and over again is, this has been done in Texas. This has been done in many places, but now Louisiana has been accused of redrawing congressional maps as an illegal act against the Constitution. Yeah, or should I say racial gerrymandering. So now on the live line, we do have Professor Gloria J. Browne-Marshall. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we appreciate you. So thank you for making time for us. I'd like for you, if you could, just so that we're all calibrated and on the same page, kind of give the who, what, when, where, and why of today's decision.
Well, when the U.S. Census takes place on the zeros based on the U.S. Constitution, usually then the districts that have been politically created based on population change. If they have to be redistricted, then these districts are created based on any shift in population. What the Trump administration decided to do, they found that in the Constitution, it doesn't say specifically that redistricting does take place on the 0 year after the census. So they said, we don't have to wait till the census. And so as was pointed out just now, Texas decided, well, we don't have to wait. We can redistrict now to our favor because we have a Republican-controlled state legislature. And so then you started to see this ball rolling of redistricting based on political actions and political power, wanting to be more in political power to take more seats, redistrict in a way to take more seats for their political power. The history has shown that gerrymandering, which is the manipulation of political districts to favor one group over another, and especially to undermine the political power of African Americans, is something that's been taking place way longer than this. And so in my book, The Voting Rights War, we can see historically the cases that were brought to stop racial gerrymandering, stop people who are in political power, political office from redistricting based on the intent to undermine the Black vote. And the intent was clearly seen back then because they didn't think there were any legal or any other consequences that would come with undermining the Black vote. So from the 1870s The Black vote has changed the outcome of elections. May I say that one more time? We change the outcome of elections. That's how powerful our vote is. You might not think it is, but they know it is. We have to realize how powerful it is, and it's been that powerful since 1870, when the 15th Amendment gave Black men the right to vote, and then Black women gained the right to vote in the 1920s. But we've been majority or very large numbers in particular districts, and they've come up with ways. Every time we figure out a way to, through the 1965 Voting Rights Act, protect our right to vote, they come up with a counter way to undermine it. This is another way of them doing that. There was supposed to be, for 30% of the Black population, efforts made by Black people. That's how it's supposed to happen. To have districts that showed how they can get their people elected into office based on the district's creation. Gerrymandering is a manipulation of the district. Up until this case, racial gerrymandering was unconstitutional. The court said they didn't want to get involved in political gerrymandering. They were going to leave that alone, but racial gerrymandering was illegal. The Voting Rights Act had a pre-clearance clause that was gutted in 2013 by the U.S. Supreme Court, by Chief Justice Roberts, in a very insincere way, because he had this plan to gut the Voting Rights Act of the pre-clearance clause that would have forced them to pre-clear any proposed legislation that might harm the voting rights of people of color or other people.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Professor. We're just up on a break, but I appreciate what you're doing, because that was going to be one of my questions. If you could connect the dots between what happened in 2013 till now, and I'm so glad that you've gone into that. So we're going to take a real quick break for traffic and weather. When we come back, more with Professor Gloria J. Browne-Marshall. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, baby! I'm your Magnolia Blues man, Sir Henry Cheatham, inviting you to join us Mr. Big Stuff, tell me, on WVON 1690 for some real American music and culture. Here on Classic Blues and R&B. Check us out Saturday, 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. on WVON and Classic Blues and R&B.
Ready to fire up your taste buds, Chicago? Black-owned Koto Hibachi serves fresh, authentic hibachi and sushi, served with a smile. Grab takeout, order delivery, or dine in casual style. No flaming show, just flavor that steals the spotlight. And hey, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Visit them at 258 West 31st Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday and Saturday till 9. Sundays till 7. And don't forget, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Koto Hibachi, where flavor meets culture.
This Saturday on Meeting the Moment, we're talking first response communications and why what happens inside your organization matters just as much as what you say to the public. Dr. Twin Green, President and CEO of the Lincoln Option Center, and Perry Ermer, President and CEO of the DuSable Black History Museum and Education Center, joined the conversation to break down how internal alignment shapes external messaging in critical moments. Tune in this Saturday at 12 noon for Meeting the Moment, powered by the Chicago Community Trust, right here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
It's Rufus Williams.
Mayor Brandon Johnson.
I'm going to upset you right now, and I'm looking forward to a Cubs World Series. That upsets Titus. Doesn't bother me, not at all. I'm from that space. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, there.
Sorry, brother.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON Traffic and Weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. In Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic, 33 minutes. I-57, Ryan to I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan to I-80, 94, slow go, 17 minutes due to road work. Stevenson, Deuce, Sabo, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, bumper-to-bumper traffic, 52 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office, stop and go traffic, 48 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 46 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Weather for today, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 49 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, welcome back, guys. You're listening to WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. On the line, we have Professor Gloria Browne-Marshall. And Professor, I wanted to ask you this question with everything that's going on, because I know everybody has seen everything that's happened. There's been breakdowns into tiny pieces. What does this mean for future elections?
This means that the Congress could have 27 more conservative seats. When we're talking about redistricting, we're talking about districts and therefore creating representatives to Congress. Because each state has 2 senators. It's the number of representatives from each state that then controls the Congress. Mm-hmm. And so as they redistrict, they're redistricting in ways, if they control that state's legislature, that will benefit that particular political party.
You know, they got some reaction from President Trump, and he's quoted as saying he loves it. The reporter asked him about it today. Trump said he had not seen the ruling ahead of a brief question and answer session with reporters in the Oval Office. After a reporter explained that, quote, some think the ruling could create more Republican-held congressional seats, as you just stated, in the South, Trump replied, quote, that's good. That's the kind of ruling I like. Hearing him say that, Professor, what came to mind immediately was how vocal he has been in recent history about his dissatisfaction with some of the SCOTUS rulings based on the conservative judges that he has appointed. And do you think now that he's been able to criticize them out loud, that it has pressured them to give him a ruling that he likes?
I'm concerned that the Supreme Court has its lowest credibility rating in recorded history. And they have not always had polls for U.S. Supreme Court cases, and U.S. Supreme Court justices or eras. But since they've been taking polls, this is the lowest credibility rating that people have given the court, because these last 2 justices, and of course, Justices Alito and Thomas, and Justice Alito is the one who wrote the opinion in this particular case, have almost been obvious in their support of Donald Trump, no matter what he's asking for. Chief Justice Roberts a few times has decided not to go the way of this court because it's the Chief Justice's reputation that aligns with the reputation of the court. Chief Justice Roberts is going to be known for being the Chief Justice during this time period and what he did and did not do or failed to do. So I think that it's showing the court in a light in which even if they're not being manipulated outright, the perception is that they're under the auspices of political dictates. And that's not what the court is supposed to do. That's why they sit for life, so they don't run for office. They're supposed to be free and neutral of political pressure. And yet we see that, yes, it's understood that there is some political pressure and some of them are falling for it.
And speaking of pressure, Professor, what are we missing and what do we need to do to prepare?
I'm glad that you asked that. I keep asking. I asked it the other night at this dinner I went to, and I keep asking, what is the plan? Mm-hmm. And the fact that I don't hear a plan coming from the head of the NAACP, the head of ACLU, the head of No Kings, the head of Indivisible, I don't hear a plan told to the people. How are we to use our power, whether or not it's protest power, resources in other ways? And so what we are looking at now is a rudderless opposition to a regime and authoritarian dictatorship using our federal resources. And the reason why I call it a regime is because he called himself a dictator. He sees himself as all powerful and thinks that there is nothing he cannot do. I think our plan has to be to continue to protest, continue to use our political power to try to gather those who are rising up in leadership, whether or not they're young, old, been in the game a long time, or figured out what the game actually is, so that we can create our own plan. Our plan should be around stabilizing and defending our democracy, supporting the diversity this nation has had for the over 400 years that it's been in existence, and also trying to make sure that we are literate and able, like your program is doing, to understand what is going on in the country and how it's affecting our lives, and to stay healthy while doing that. Those four tenets, I think, are very important. Within them, of course, there are a lot of umbrella issues we have coming up this May 1st protest. But what are we protesting for? Where do we want to go? Right. That's why I said it has to be about our democracy, our diversity, our literacy, and our health. We've got to protest for those things. And the reason why this is happening is nobody's talking about, and this will help us with our planning, is that they have a Project 2025 because, and I've said this on your show before, by the year 2045, this nation is going to be majority people of color. Once we understand this and we see that some people, not all, but some people believe this as a frightful future, they want to undermine our economic power. That's why you see people getting fired from their jobs, being demoted, being pushed out, because they want to undermine our economic power. They want to undermine our political power. They want to undermine our educational standing. This is what's taking place right now. And once you know what you're up against, you can better plan on how to defeat it.
Professor Gloria Browne-Marshall, I knew I could depend on you to help remind us of what's urgent, what's important, and the direction that we need to be headed. I want to thank you so much for taking time for the afternoon show to help us better understand and navigate this conversation.
And I'm going to say, I want us to have lunch. I'm
well,
yes. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. Thank you. And just I can for a split second, martyrsday.us, martyrsday.us, martyrsday.us. That's my founding of Martyrs Day. We've got to talk about the people who died trying to get us what we have right now that we're trying to defend. And look on the website, martyrsday.us, and learn more about it.
And you're welcome to come back, and we can take a deep dive into that whenever you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. All right, guys, we got to take a real quick break. Pianki, Sarah, we see you holding.
Yes.
This conversation is not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, we're going to be joined by Professor Ted Williams on the other side of this break as well. So we're going to keep this going. 773-591-1690. We'll be right back.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your local and national news. Staff at Illinois State University say they are frustrated as contract negotiations remain stalled during ongoing strikes. Workers are seeking better pay and working conditions and claim the university has not bargained in good faith. Some employees have traveled to Springfield to raise awareness and pressure officials. University leaders cite financial constraints and the need to balance rising costs with student affordability. In other news in Chicago, Jose Medina has pleaded not guilty to the murder of Sheridan Gorman. The victim's family and supporters filed and filled the courtroom, vowing to pursue justice. Medina, who had an active warrant from a prior case, is being held in Cook County Jail. His next court appearance is scheduled for June 1st. In other news, about 40% of Americans believe in psychic abilities, and 1 in 5 believe they are psychic. Bree Tennis with more.
This from a Talker research poll that says about 19% of us believe we can tap into a psychic force. Most say the feeling is just that something is off and not really a premonition. Women more likely to believe than men, and Gen Z has the most believers. Science has studied the theory, and there is no data to support psychic ability of any kind. But if you're among the 19% who believe, you already knew that. I'm Bree Tennis.
And many Mexican Americans preparing to celebrate next week with music, festivals, and maybe a few margaritas. Monica Nelson with the details behind the 5th of May, also known as Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo is next week, which means it's time to celebrate one of history's greatest underdog wins. In 1862, the Mexican army beat the French at the Battle of Puebla, basically the sports upset of the century, but with cannons. Today, the holiday is celebrated in Puebla and all across the U.S., where people honor Mexican culture with music and food and the annual reminder that no, this is not Mexico's Independence Day. That's September 16th. But it is a great excuse to enjoy the culture, the history, and maybe a taco or two for educational purposes, of course. I'm Monica Nelson.
I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region and, more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/Meeting the Moment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
South Chicago isn't just a neighborhood, it's a community full of promise. That's why Fifth Third Bank is investing in its future through our neighborhood program. We're working alongside local leaders, small businesses, and residents to create jobs, expand home ownership, and build inclusive infrastructure. Because when South Chicago thrives, we all thrive. This is Banking a Fifth Third Better. Learn more about our community investments at 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. And Ryan, downtown on 95th. Slow go, 35 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80, 1 minute delay. 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94. Slow moving traffic due to road work. 17 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic, 49 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office. Stop and go traffic, 59 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare. Stop and go traffic, 52 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose, Slade Cook, Smooth Sailing, 15 minutes. Weather for today, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low 41 tomorrow. Cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 49 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
Hey, yo, Tuck. What? Push your balance on. Yo, Rick, I was about to wear a need a shoe home. Why? Because the shoes always hurt my thumb. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
It is 6 minutes after the hour,
minutes,
actually, right?
Yeah, we've been gone
3:36. And we're having a conversation today about the SCOTUS decision, SCOTUS meaning Supreme Court of the United States.
Yeah.
And their decision to strike down a congressional map in Louisiana that would have created a majority black district. When the Supreme Court gives a ruling, that becomes precedent that other cases around the country can then refer to and say, according to this case or this ruling by the Supreme Court. So this is going to have reverberations throughout the country. We just saw in Virginia a hotly contested issue with redistricting that passed that would have been favorable to Democrats. We saw the drama in Texas unfold where Texas legislators literally left the state over this issue. So there's something to this gerrymandering and redistricting that is highly important that politicians truly understand. And now we have the Supreme Court 6-3 majority vote, 6-3 conservative majority vote that, again, according to Donald Trump, he loves it. Joining us, and I don't know if he knew if he was talking about the voting rights or if he was talking about
he claimed
McDonald's.
he didn't see it. He didn't see what was going on because he was too busy congratulating.
He was working on
the Artemis 2 comeback. They've been back like 2 years, right? And now he decides to have a distraction while this is happening.
Anytime he says he had no idea,
I know he knows. Right.
knows.
He always says, I had no idea. I don't know what's going on. But he does.
Joining us on the live line is our good friend, Professor Ted Williams from Kennedy King College, professor of political science. And we thank you for taking time with us. Your initial thoughts when you saw this ruling?
Professor, you're on mute.
Yeah, you're muted us.
Maybe he took another call. Maybe we should take a call.
Let's do that.
Go ahead and grab Pianki.
Hey, Pianki, you're live.
Oh, we're not hearing anyone.
Being a resident here in Louisiana, where I moved because you up on home because I didn't want to stay.
You're fading in and out, Pianki. I don't know what's happening.
Hey, I'm not. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Pianki,
we can.
Pianki, hold your comment real quick. We got Professor Ted Williams on the line. We'll be right back to you.
There you go. We can hear you now, Professor. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. First of all, to make this real simple, anytime you know that Donald Trump, you hear Donald Trump is excited about something that has to do with black voting rights, then you understand what's going on, right? He has been on the wrong side of almost every issue as it impacts us. But this is really as you said, a precedent that will be set. You know, Louisiana has a 30% African-American population. They have 6 congressional seats. They only had one predominantly black congressional seat. And there was this move, as you know, to get 2 congressional seats under the Voting Rights Act, 1965, Section 2. This was shot down. And so what the Supreme Court has done, hypocritically, I would add, has said that we cannot take race into account when we are creating districts. Well, brothers and sisters, without context, that makes sense. It sounds good. But the context of America and its history has been that is all we've ever done is to take race into account as we created districts. And if we had not done so in a state where there are 30% African Americans, you would have 2 out of 6 of the people of the districts be predominantly black. That is not the case. And the last thing I'll say very quickly is this. When I say hypocritically they did this, they just argued, the Trump administration, around the birthright citizenship question in the 14th Amendment, that amendment was specifically for African Americans, specifically for the formerly enslaved, that they set the precedent that a constitutional amendment could have specific racial intention for a specific group, and then they turned the corner and said that is not possible in this case. They're trying to have it both ways, and you cannot. And I think that this is a real step backwards when it comes to the issue of voting rights.
Yeah. You know, we keep hearing about this colorblind effect, this colorblind society, or should I say administration, or should I say government? And if you look at it from a colorblind standpoint, it would have to be done on all fronts. I just mentioned to Atiba during the break that it looks like Project 2025 said, let's do a search in every policy, act, amendment, law, anything that has anything to do with race, we're going to change it. We're going to get rid of it. And by gutting that, it's almost like if you were to get stabbed and pull the knife out of the wrong artery, you're going to bleed to death. So if we're going to do something like that, do Black people, and this is not a silly question, take me seriously when I say this, do we need to stop telling them where we are, who we are? Because if you're going to take race out of everything, when the census comes out, don't check off the box that says Black or other, because they know that's you. Check off the box that says Caucasian. And then what are they going to do? When you check that box, I said that back in 2016 when 2020 was approaching and everybody laughed. But if you if you keep telling them where you are, who you are, then they can simply do a gerrymandering move. But if they don't know who you are, where you are, they'll be all over the place. We have to be 10 steps ahead all day.
Donna, I agree with the idea of racial classification being problematic in America, that when we look at what the census does, the definition of what it means to be Black or white or Latino or Asian, all these are still very antiquated ideas. And so I joke with my students sometimes when they talk about the complexity of their racial identity, that they do have the flexibility to do this. But see, what we do have a precedent in this country for policies that impact minority rights, not majority rights. And this is what I'm saying. When you look at the Electoral College is built so that states with smaller populations still get a seat at the table. This is all the Voting Rights Act did. This is all that this racial gerrymandering does. We have a history in this country of saying, hey, in places where there are minorities, i.e. in number, I'm not talking about racial minorities, we ought to do something to make sure that they get equal representation. They are violating their very principle. And we do this in the Electoral College. Heck, we even do it in the NFL draft. When you have a team that is not doing as well, they get the first pick. That is what racial gerrymandering does. That is what these efforts do. And that is what this false colorblind notion will tear apart and put us backwards after we have worked so hard to try to move forward towards equality.
Let's go ahead and take a call. We've got Pianki on line 1. Hey, Pianki, thanks for calling.
Now,
Pianki, you're live.
Call.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
Yes,
yeah,
we can hear you.
I agree with the court's decision, being a resident of Louisiana. I was totally against, and a lot of people was totally against, making a district that spanned from New Orleans to Shreveport, which is 325 miles, going down a line and pulling out Black voters who may live between two white homes and say, you in this district. I was in Gary Graves' district. He's an excellent state rep. Then they bring in Mr. Field, Cleo Field. You call his office, no response. And you know, the last professor said that Supreme Court justices sit for life. They do not. The Constitution say they sit on account of good behavior. A lot of things that say
it's a lifetime appointment. That's a lifetime appointment. They don't have to be reelected. That was a point.
They sit there on account of good behavior. That's
for
what
life.
The Constitution said.
For life.
So they can make a move. They can be moved out of there.
You'd have to
They
look to
can't be
impeach
moved
them.
out.
She didn't say there weren't any
And another-
mechanisms. So
Well,
again, that's
Latifah, I would debate you on the issue instead of on
Please
the
do.
phone
We're
taking
talking
up
about the
other
judges?
people's time.
You
Well,
talking
you
about the
put it
judges?
together then.
Okay.
Now,
Are you talking about the
it
judges?
was a bad decision. 1965 Voters' Rights Act was an act. You had people here, you had two states, you had Louisiana and Alabama. The state legislature in Alabama, when they tried to create an all-black district, they said, we ain't going to do it. You create an all-black voting district, then what comes next? An all-black school district. Then you're back to segregated in schools again. It was terrible. And the gutting of Section 2 was because those districts became all-black. So you're going to have something favorable to blacks when they're amongst white, but what happens when all the whites move?
Thank you, sir. And again, I don't mean to interject on you, Pianki, but you're saying things that are demonstrably false. Even what you just said about Section 2 is demonstrably false. But go ahead, Professor.
Well, no, I would say as well, and I appreciate his perspective, living in Louisiana. I don't dismiss that in any way. But if you think that current lines for electoral lines are made in a nonpartisan, non-racial way, then you're missing the whole point. I think the data is very clear. If you got a state with 33% of the folks are African American, and there's only one predominantly African American district, that was not by accident. And that is what this is trying to address. So I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily married to any particular solution, But I cannot allow us to look at this and go, well, that's okay, because they would never make those districts in a racially discriminatory way. That's just the way it is. That is clearly not true.
Which one is bigger, the Electoral College or gerrymandering?
Wow, that's a great question.
Hold that answer. I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it because we're up on a break.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. But as he ponders that, we're going to take a real quick break for traffic and weather. We'll be right back. Brother Chris, we see you.
And LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik. You've seen him on cable TV. Now hear his spirited conversation on the Talk of Chicago. The question at hand is raising voices of the Negro. That plain and simple. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, VON TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. VON TV. It's cultural content on purpose.
This spring, August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom comes to the Goodman. It's 1927 Chicago. Ma Rainey, the mother of the blues, and her band are recording an album, but tensions build to one of the most heart-stopping endings in theater. Ife Butler stars, with Chuck Smith and Harry J. Lennox directing the play called A Genuine American Masterpiece. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is extended through May 3rd. Tickets at goodmantheater.org.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. In Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic, 40 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80, 3 minutes delay, 18 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94. Slow moving traffic due to road work, 19 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Please be cautious. There is an accident causing the left lane to be blocked. Stevenson before First Avenue, 49 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, stop and go traffic, 52 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low of 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 49 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Listen, I know we're having this heated conversation, but at 4 o'clock, we're doing the roundtable with all the hosts. We're talking about Rufus, Williams, Cleopatra, Draper, Matt McGill, LaDonna Raeh, and Atiba. Yeah, I said my name first that time. But watch this. We're going to moderate on the afternoon show in a few minutes, actually, 4 o'clock. You don't want to miss this because we're going to break down the stories and we're going to go over the hot topics. So just make sure you tune in. I think Rufus is in the building, all that fun stuff. We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
All right, guys, we're back, joined by Professor Ted Williams, as we discuss this ruling by the Supreme Court of the United States concerning Louisiana case.
Oh, Ted, you got to turn your radio down, Ted.
Yes.
No, my radio's not on. I'm not sure. Yeah, what's
going on? We were getting echo. That's weird. Okay, so but we'll continue the conversation. That being said, where are we now? Like this, we asked this of Professor Marshall as well. Where does this leave us? Because
no, he had the question. What's bigger?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I remember LaDonna. I was prepared for it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Please answer LaDonna's question.
I'm going to suggest that gerrymandering is worse. And at first, it was a very difficult question if you think about it, because they both are problematic. But the Electoral College impacts us specifically around the presidential election, which comes around every 4 years. President is very important in the democratic process. However, we have judges and we have congressmen and we have state reps and state senators who really have a significant impact on our lives. And those elections happen much more often and are subjected to the whims of whoever is drawing the maps. In many states, including our own state, it is the politicians that get to draw their maps. There are only a few states in which there is independent group that draws the maps. But what gerrymandering does throughout the country is it either it packs or it cracks districts, right? It takes a group of African Americans and splits them up through cracking. We realize, and let's just be honest, African Americans have had to vote consistently in a block in this country. We haven't had the luxury of being politically independent in the same way as other groups. We have one party that has, not been the greatest for us, and I will admit that, but at least they bring us to the table at some level. At least we have moved somewhat. There's another party that is working vehemently and ostensibly and directly against our very survival in this country. And so the choices have been really clear electorally. We also have in the gerrymandering situation where they take groups and they pack them together so that they dilute their power outside of the district. I would suggest that the gerrymandering issue is probably worse because it's more pervasive and we deal with it in more elections.
So gerrymandering is more locally and electoral colleges nationally.
It is, absolutely. Yeah. And then, of course, as we know, then the gerrymandering affects who we get to represent us in Congress. Think about this. We have about 61 African-American representatives in Congress right now, and a lot of it has to do with how maps are drawn.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you mentioned something about the history of the country, and I'm just, I'm looking at this quote being reported by CNN. The quote is, intentional discrimination cases are, quote, much harder than they used to be. That was said by Jason Torchinsky. He's an elections lawyer who represented Republicans in redistricting fights. Is he being intentionally obtuse? Because that was the same reasoning for gutting the Voting Rights Act in 2013. Oh, they don't do that anymore.
Absolutely. It's kind of like what Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, is that you see some level of progress in the political process. You don't get rid of the tools that got you there. It's like having an umbrella and you're getting dry in a rainstorm. You're dry in a rainstorm. You have an umbrella, you remove the umbrella. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work. You remove the umbrella, you're going to get wet. And so we have moved in certain ways through these tools to move us towards some level of equality. The 1982 amendment to this particular to the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act essentially said it wasn't just about whether there was racially discriminatory intention, but there also was the issue of the outcome. And that is the reality. I mean, let's not play these games, to your point of him being obtuse. Let's not play the game and say, oh, well, we didn't try to be discriminatory and do this. But you did. And I'll bring it back again. I don't like the Electoral College, but once again, the country uses that as the model to say why a state like Wyoming should have electoral votes and have more representation than a state like California because of the population differences. And so we understand that you cannot have a functioning democracy without minority rights. He is being purposely ignorant around this issue, and I think he knows better. I really do. Absolutely. Brother Chris, thank you for calling.
Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Good. As well.
Great topic. And also the professor. So just when you thought, you knew the game, so normally it takes 10 yards to get a first down. So I guess now it takes 99 yards to get a first down. And it seems like the states with the worst outcomes, like Louisiana is one of them, education, health, and the Supreme Court The Supreme Court has become a lobbyist court, as you see the payoffs, Clarence Thomas's, Alito, and stuff like that. And it just goes to show, how does the Black MAGA voters vote against their interests? Because you ask yourself, how does this help you now and later, like, your children, grandchildren, how does it help them? And Mr. Patonki, I might be saying his name wrong, he got the ruling wrong because they said those states that historically discriminated, Roberts gave some little Chanel number 5 on the number 2 of saying we live in a post-racial kind of society now, and what happened then did not happen now. And slavery was also unconstitutional message. So I'm just wondering, how does it better the life of anyone, blacks and the MAGA blacks? Could you explain that to me?
Thank you, Brother Chris. I don't know if anybody can explain that, but I'm sure Professor Ted Williams will give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I just don't think that obviously it does. And I think what it does is it sets up, once again, this precedent that we cannot use the tools of government to address racial discrimination and inequality. That we have to pretend, as in the Malcolm X analogy, that when you stick a knife in a man's back 6 inches and you pull it out 3 or 9 inches, you pull it out 6 inches, that's not progress. What they're saying in these rulings is that we have to, let's say we pull the knife out altogether, which we don't, but we cannot patch up the wound. We cannot heal the wound. We cannot do anything. We have to let the person walk and bleed out. Yeah. And that's exactly what will happen. If you think that racial equality after 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow segregation. We literally are talking about 60 years ago since we've had the Voting Rights Act, the Housing Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, 60 years ago, and that's it. And they go, oh, well, it's all done. Let's just discount those 350 first years, and let's just pretend like everything is equal, when they see with their very eyes the inequality that is blatant in this society in every space and place. And so we have to be vigilant in making sure that we work on all fronts to counter this. They're attacking by this ruling reparations. They're attacking by this ruling, obviously, further affirmative action. They're attacking by this ruling DEI, and trying to get people who do not have the history or understanding of context to believe that we are a colorblind society. I wish we were a colorblind society. I want to live in a colorblind society. We are a long way from being there.
Yeah, I agree. And, I just think about how this, if I can't wait to see what happens. I know that we're bouncing up and down about how everything is being repealed and removed, and there's no way that Black people are a monolith. We don't have all the same values. But I'm serious. If we were to all check that box, and what if we all voted Republican? I don't know. I'm just asking, because there was a time when we were Republican. We weren't MAGA Republican back then. Republicans then and now are totally different. But that would truly shake things up. I'm just asking.
Well, we were Republicans when the Republican Party was a party of equality.
Yeah.
We were Republicans when the Republican Party was an anti-slavery party. We were Republicans when the Republican Party was an anti-states rights party. And when that switched, we recognized, and people always criticize Black folks for only voting for Democrats. I think Black people are very politically astute and aware of where their interests are supported. And I recognize that if I'm in a party that is pushing for states' rights versus federal protection, is pushing against school funding, is pushing against voting rights, then that does not serve my interests. And so I don't really care about the Democrats or Republicans on paper, but I care about them in policy. And in my lifetime, unfortunately, it's only been one party that has moved in the direction to try to get us more protection. Maybe that might change, but that is definitely not the case of where we are right now.
And you're not an old man, but you've lived a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a few, man. A few.
Right? All right. Thank you. Professor Ted Williams, as always, we appreciate you. And until next time.
Thank you, brother and sister. I appreciate you all.
All right.
Keep fighting, guys. Let's keep fighting. Thank you all.
You got it. It's 4 o'clock. It's time for the main event.
Oh, shucky ducky.
Here comes Rufus Williams.
Yeah.
Here comes Cleopatra Draper. And here comes Matt McGill. We about to chop it up, guys. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Atiba and LaDonna Raeh.
And share the show.
Happy Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Feds to drop conspiracy charge against Broadview 6 defendants. FBI raids Northwest Indiana restaurants and home of owner. Striking UIC grad workers seek higher pay. And specialist gives advice on weight vests. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, WVON 1690 AM, Berwyn, Chicago.
all my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come and hold my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Oh my love. A million days in your arms is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late. The boss is so demanding. Open the door up, and to my surprise,
Stepping up patrols and adding mobile surveillance in Studio City after a spike in home invasions. Aaron Sias with ACS Security.
We have provided information, footage, license plates to LAPD that have actively assisted in their investigations.
A new AI-powered camera unit is now operating near Ventura Boulevard as the city boosts security. An audit at HBCU North Carolina A&T found $5 million in financial aid was wrongly awarded to ineligible recipients with ties to former officials. Several leaders have left the university, restitution is being sought, and criminal referrals have been made. And Nedra Talley Ross, the last surviving member of the Ronettes, has died at the age of 80. The group helped define the 1960s girl group sound with hits like Be My Baby. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's more with Esther Dillard.
Thanks, Bree. It's Wednesday, April 29th. I'm Esther Dillard. Black New Jersey Senator Cory Booker took to CNN to speak out after a second indictment of James Comey.
There's not a serious lawyer in America on both sides of the aisle that know that this case is meritless, it is ridiculous, it is about yet another person practicing an advanced form of yoga, trying to bend over backwards and contort their integrity just to try to impress Donald Trump and maybe get his favor. This is not what the Justice Department of the United States of America, using millions of dollars of resources, should be doing. They should be protecting the American people from dangerous criminals and from threats from abroad.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said Comey faces 2 felony charges related to a threat to kill President Trump. The latest charges are connected to a social media post featuring the message 8647. In a post after the indictment was announced, Comey also said he still believes in justice.
I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go.
Last year, the DOJ charged Comey for allegedly lying to Congress, but the case was thrown out on technical grounds. Meanwhile, in Camden, New Jersey, a 50-year-old man was taken into custody after police say they found him covered in blood and holding a knife while his wife's body was in a bedroom that was on fire. Here's BIN correspondent Levon Putney.
The Camden County Prosecutor's Office is saying police and firefighters responded to a call about a stabbing at the Gloucester Township home just after 2 a.m. Now, officers say 2 others in the home did get out safely while firefighters pulled the body of 51-year-old Monica Morris from that burning third-floor bedroom, while her husband, Jerome Morris, who cops say was covered in blood and holding a knife, well, he was taken into custody, charged with first-degree murder and third-degree weapons possession. I'm Levon Putney.
And Quinta Brunson is set to receive the 3rd annual Mary Tyler Moore Visionary Award at the FYC TV Fest. The Abbott Elementary star and creator will be introduced by Moore's husband, Dr. Levine. The award recognizes groundbreaking achievements in storytelling, Moore's husband said Brunson brought the same egoless, ensemble-driven genius of the Mary Tyler Moore Show back to broadcast television. Brunson previously made history as the first Black woman to receive 3 Emmy nominations and will be recognized on May 6th in Los Angeles. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow BIN News This Hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Esther Dillard on your home for Black News First, the Black Information Network.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria Browne-Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption in stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on WVON TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
What does 40 years of helping people find the right life insurance look like? At SelectQuote, it looks like more than 2 million customers trusting us to help protect their loved ones. It looks like over $700 billion in life insurance secured. 40 years of service looks like exclusive policies for our healthiest customers, the kind where no medical exam is required. At SelectQuote, it's some of the nation's most highly rated carriers and more than 100 policies in one place, giving you the power of choice without the burden of shopping for coverage on your own. And it's a promise that no matter your health concern, finding an affordable life insurance policy is possible, even if others have turned you away. You can get a free quote in as little as 15 minutes, and many policies are less than $1 a day. With a legacy spanning 40 years, we know a thing or two about life insurance.
Get started on your free quote today. Call SelectQuote at 1-800-760-1010. That's 1-800-760-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-760-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON Traffic and Weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Please be cautious. There is a disabled vehicle causing the right lane to be blocked. Dan Ryan past 18th Street, 45 minutes. I-57 Ryan I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan I-80, 94 slow go due to road work. 20 minutes. Bishop Ford between 115th Street and Steel Bridge. Stevenson DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Please be cautious. There is an accident. Update, solid traffic. Accident has been cleared, an hour. Eisenhower, Wolftoe Post Office, stop and go traffic, an hour and 11 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 59 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 49 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page. And that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
The Chicago Blues Festival is more than a festival. It's a celebration of culture, rhythm, and legacy. We'll see you in Millennium Park June 4th through the 7th. We're WVON.
I'll play the blues.
April brings spring flowers and a birthday celebration for the voice of Black Chicago. Happy birthday, WVON celebrating 63 years of Black excellence.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
We're back on the afternoon show as we get all of our hosts situated and get their mics going. We're going to take these two calls real quick. Larry, you're up. You got 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call. Look, the conditions that once mandated implementing provisions of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, along with federal oversight, largely no longer apply. And
That's right.
if they do, even if they did, creating congressional districts on the basis of racial gerrymandering is patently unconstitutional. Now, why should Black voters be ghettoized into readily identifiable voting districts that can be easily ignored given the overwhelming propensity of Black people to vote for Democrats? And this is a giveaway. This gives the whole game away. You look at these bizarrely, grotesquely shaped districts that look like centipedes or some electro species of arachnid, and that tells you what the game is. There are no geographically contiguous rational borders whatsoever. They are clearly created for racial voting purposes.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
We appreciate it. Art, your thoughts real quick.
Oh no, I was holding my thoughts for your gang of people, so you can put me on hold. So
You
I
got
can
it.
get
You
out.
got it. You got it.
Okay.
All right, getting in early. All right, guys. What we have here, we have our guest, Cleopatra Draper, one of our guests today, but our host, Cleopatra Draper. She is the host of the Cleopatra Show, which airs 9 to 12. Rufus Williams is in studio. He is host of, it's the Rufus Williams Show, right? It's the morning show.
Why would you not call it Rufus Williams Show? What else could it possibly be called?
There we go. He's host of the Rufus Williams Show. 7 to 9 every day. And then, of course,
why is that 7 to
Matt.
9? That's crazy.
That's a conversation for another day.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Matt McGill, host from 12 to 3, host of the Matt McGill Show.
Yes.
Hey.
Next time we'll do this on your show. You can answer
right.
every question.
All right, okay.
Right. So before we get started, let me just acknowledge this.
Let me say this. It's the Rufus Williams Show. When it was 3 hours, it was the morning show.
Okay.
That's the distinguishment. So when it went to 2, it came to me.
Love it. Love it.
Is that an Apple Watch you got on there?
It is.
That's cool.
For another day.
You have to keep them on
Another
track.
day.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
So let me get this out because this is important. This is very important to me, and I hope it's important to you guys. But you did this on April 1st last time, and I
Yeah,
was in
it
the
April-
hospital.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to participate. So I just thank God that I'm able to be here today and be
Yes.
amongst you guys.
We're so glad you're okay.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, we're
It is
glad
a
you're here too.
blessing.
You're half the man you used to be.
I know, right?
But it's good to have you here.
Yes,
in this half.
thank you.
You kept the good half.
Thank you. He's referring to the weight loss that I've had, but nonetheless, this is a conversation about the hottest topics that we all talked about in April. And and Cleopatra, let me just say hi to you if you want to just say hi to everybody because you're not here.
Hey, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Cleopatra, how the boys?
The babies are just fine. I got them quiet enough so I can do this interview.
Excellent, excellent.
Let's see how long that
And you
works.
sound great. So Rufus, I reached out to all the hosts, and you had responded because I wanted everyone to take the lead on something, and you had responded that you wanted to take the lead on the White House correspondent shooting. Am I correct?
Well, I wanted to take the lead on the White House correspondent dinner.
Sure.
Because there's still so many questions around that.
Mm-hmm.
And the questions, one is they're having the dinner. This is around the correspondence in the media is about the First Amendment, clear and simple. And given the fact that you've got a guy who's there, who typically the president shows up for the correspondence dinner, but if there's anybody who's been pushing hard against the First Amendment, it's this guy. And so one around the conversation of the dinner is, why was there a dinner? If he was going to be there, what was going to be said about the First Amendment? What was he going to say? And how was the media going to react to that before all the other stuff even happened? That's important to talk about as it relates to this correspondence dinner.
Let me ask you a question about that, because in that same vein, something was strange to me. He never attended his first administration.
Never went.
Right. And so I was trying to figure out what happened that he was comfortable enough to go now. I never really got an answer on that, because if you remember, many would argue that his foray into politics was motivated by his 2011 attending the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where he was really embarrassed by Barack Obama. So he has a very nasty taste in his mouth as it pertains to this. What happened that he even felt comfortable? Anybody can chime in. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll say what I think, and y'all please jump into this conversation. I think that he's on his redemption tour, and his intent was to come there, be hard on everybody who was in that room, and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wouldn't have heard. He may have heard others that went, but that wasn't his intention. He was on his redemption tour, and that's why he was there. Which begs again the question: knowing that, why would you have this dude there?
All right, and just like that, we're up on a break. It's 4:17. Ms. Cleopatra Draper, I want to hear from you on the other side of this break on that question, and whatever you want to add to this particular discussion. We got a lot of hot topics. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're just getting started. The afternoon show with Atiba and LaDonna Raeh.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
This Saturday on Meeting the Moment, we're talking first response communications and why what happens inside your organization matters just as much as what you say to the public. Dr. Twin Green, President and CEO of the Lincoln Option Center, and Perry Ermer, President and CEO of the DuSable Black History Museum and Education Center, joined the conversation to break down how internal alignment shapes external messaging in critical moments. Tune in this Saturday at 12 noon for Meeting the Moment, powered by the Chicago Community Trust, right here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
Well, what's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I bet you wonder how
All right, guys, welcome back. It's the afternoon show. Wait a minute. It's the Rufus Williams show. Wait a minute. It's the Cleopatra show, and it's the Matt McGill show. We are doing the roundtable, our monthly roundtable with all of our hosts today from 4 to 5, guys. We've got to get Cleopatra on, and I know, Rufus, you were talking about your hot story, and I want to ask Rufus just really quick, what is it that you did not say on that day when you covered the story that you wish you would have said? Real quick.
I didn't cover it much because it had just happened. So I think all these things, they got caught up in the whole issue around the shooting or the alleged shooting, really, because we're learning more and more details about that. So for me, the whole issue around what I just said, around the dinner itself, I think was going to be the conversation before that happened, or what it was that he said.
Mrs. Draper, your thoughts?
Well, I did cover it. I covered it from the registered Republican that opened fire with the attempt to assassinate your president was very interesting. And I think he was present to show a sense of force and power and confirming that the oligarchs had bent to his will in terms of not only making these conglomerate purchases of these major networks, but in addition to that, ultimately, at some point he can cancel you. Even with the attempt on his life, he still found a way to get to Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, well, I think that's something else that a lot of us covered yesterday, right?
Well, that one's still being covered. I'll cover it tomorrow. But yeah, the whole assault on the licenses, on ABC's licenses, because of what Jimmy Kimmel said 3 days earlier. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Well, here's the encouraging thing about that particular situation to me. ABC is owned by Disney. Disney is one of the few organizations that has money deep enough to fight this as far as it needs to go.
Yeah, but that's encouraging for them. What about the smaller media companies? That
I know. I mean, that's why I said encouraging about this particular situation. So hopefully they'll be able to develop some kind of precedent around that.
Everybody else, they silence. I mean, CBS has been brought down, and you start to look at things that you see. 60 Minutes is a whole different show than it used to be. The fact that Tony DeCopel is on in the evenings is problematic. It's become a shadow of what it was. And when we look at this merger that's coming through, what's happening in the media is a really big deal. And so him going, even though ABC is independent now, they still control the FCC licenses. So they can fight it, but there's still a problem.
Matt McGill, I have listened to your show this month, brother, and I don't think anybody covered the Pope versus Donald Trump as well as you. And I would just love to get, and that was, then you had an Archbishop on about it. You might have even had Father Flago on. You took a deep dive, brother. We love to hear about that.
You know what? Look, Donald Trump does not like to be confronted, right? And it doesn't matter to him who it is, right? So even
you're a horrible person, Matt.
I know. Here's the real. I thought Donald Trump was going after the Pope for different reasons. Now, here's what's interesting. The Catholic Church has been very conservative, very pro right wing, Republican Party. That doesn't matter to Trump. If somebody comes at him, he creates a enemy and he goes right back at him. And that's what he did with Leo. I thought he was going after Leo, to be honest with you, because he was from Chicago. And I thought that was a natural position for him to take. Here's this Pope, and I'm sure he's reading the storylines about his, New Orleans colorful background. I had Father Flagrant. We talked about this.
One drop of blood.
Well, let's get LaDonna in here. I want to ask you a question about this situation because what we really saw, as far as the actual Catholic voters, they were in a situation for a little bit. They had to choose.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to follow your Pope, or are you going to follow the president?
Yeah.
What would you bet your money on?
Oh, I would have to bet my money on their Catholicism. They would have to really stick with the Pope. If you saw the celebration, and I could be wrong, but if you saw the celebration in him being honored and being appointed as the new Pope, their faith seems to be stronger than their political party. Now, on the other hand, I love going to Catholic church. It's 1 hour long. You're in and out. It's great. But at the same time, I know that part of my family is Catholic, and that is their focus, period.
Your thoughts, Matt?
I think
Who you betting on?
I think outside of America,
that's the distinction, right?
I think Catholics they're gonna line up behind the Pope.
But I'm talking about the ones here that vote.
Man, look, they're lining up behind America. All right, white conservatives are lining up by the people they live around, right? And the politics of this country. That's what I think. They might say something different.
I mean, this is.
But when they go, here's the story of America, right? You've got a public profile, and then you've got a profile when you go in and vote.
Yeah.
And we have seen how that has turned, right? Hillary Clinton was up in the polls. Everybody that had a camera in front of them, a microphone in front of them said, I'm voting for Hillary. And they went in and voted for Trump.
Here's what makes my question actually kind of irrelevant, because for the past few years, these same voters have had to choose between Jesus and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
They pick Trump over Jesus. So the Pope don't stand a chance. Miss Cleopatra, what has been important to you in April that we need to revisit and chop up?
I just want to respond back to that.
Sure.
I had the Cardinal on, and 17 Cardinals in the United States of America, and it seems like Pope Leo got the squad behind him. I don't know if the regime can stand the test of time when it comes to the Vatican. So I'll leave it at that. More high profile for me has been very heavy with the through line between domestic violence, mental health, and spousal abuse, right? So we've covered a number of Black women that have been found deceased and murdered at the hands of either their spouse or their children, and or children killed by their fathers. So Black families, Black America has been truly impacted in the month of April at a magnitude that we've only seen in other cultures at this heightened level. So with a number of these high profile cases, a few of them here in Chicago and others sporadically throughout the country, we've dived into every last element thereof, and it's been intense.
Yeah, we've had a lot of heartbreaking and harrowing stories in the month of April, and then they were all back to back. It was really a lot to absorb. Let's do this, because you took us right to the break, Miss Cleopatra, which I appreciate. It's 4:30. We're going to hit this right on time. Check in with Miss Logan to find out what's in the news. Many more topics, many more thoughts on the other side. Susan, Art, we see you both holding. We're going to pepper in your guys' calls too.
And just let you know, there is a poll going on, so go ahead and pick your favorite radio personality. That's what the poll is for.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here it's happening in your local and national news. Federal prosecutors in Chicago say they will drop the felony conspiracy charge against 4 remaining members of the so-called Broadview Six. The case stems from a 2025 protest outside an ICE facility where defendants were accused of surrounding and damaging a federal agent's vehicle. Prosecutors told a judge they plan to move forward with revised charges focused on lesser misdemeanors. Kat Abuzale, Brian Straw, Michael Rabbit, and Andre Martin remain charged as the case continues. In other news, federal authorities are confirming that they raided several businesses on a property in Northwest Indiana. FBI agents raided Gino's Steakhouse in Merrillville, and the Paragon restaurant in Hobart this morning. Both businesses are owned by the Gerodimo family. The Sherrillville home of the business owner was also searched. Authorities released a statement saying that the activities were a multi-agency operation and wasn't a court-authorized law enforcement activity in northern Indiana and other states. In other news, University of Illinois Chicago unionized graduate workers are on day 3 of their strike. The Graduate Employees Organization has bargained with the UIC administration for a year and failed to reach a contract. The sticking points are wages and health insurance. The union also wants an insurance that artificial intelligence won't be used in place of union labor. Graduate workers at UIC teach classes and conduct research. They earn a minimum of $24,000 for a 9-month contract with no guaranteed summer employment. And President Trump says former FBI Director James Comey used a term to kill him that gangsters use. Trump told reporters 86 is used by mob bosses when they order an associate to kill someone.
You ever see the movies? 86 'em. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 'em. That means kill him. People like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others. Comey is a dirty cop. He's a very dirty cop. He cheated on the elections. He tried to help Hillary Clinton.
Comey posted a photo last year of seashells on a beach, arranged in the form with the numbers 8647. He surrendered today after he was charged federally for threatening Trump's life. When asked if he thought his life was in danger, Trump said probably. He then went on to call Comey a dirty cop. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Thank you, Barack and Michelle Obama, for bringing your gift to the world home to Chicago. The Obama Presidential Center, coming Juneteenth weekend. Witness a celebration of the power of hope and possibility. We're WVON.
April is STI Awareness Month, and the Chicago Department of Public Health reminds us that sexual health is a vital part of your total health and well-being. If you're sexually active, getting tested regularly is one of the best things you can do for yourself and your partner's health. It's quick, easy, and completely confidential. The Chicago Department of Public Health sexual health clinics in Austin, Roseland, and Lakeview offer free testing and treatment, as well as free condoms and over-the-counter pregnancy tests. To learn more, go to chicago.gov/sexual health.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
What does 40 years of helping people find the right life insurance look like? At SelectQuote, it looks like more than 2 million customers trusting us to help protect their loved ones. It looks like over $700 billion in life insurance secured. 40 years of service looks like exclusive policies for our healthiest customers, the kind where no medical exam is required. At SelectQuote, it's some of the nation's most highly rated carriers and more than 100 policies in one place, giving you the power of choice without the burden of shopping for coverage on your own. And it's a promise that no matter your health concern, finding an affordable life insurance policy is possible, even if others have turned you away. You can get a free quote in as little as 15 minutes, and many policies are less than $1 a day. With a legacy spanning 40 years, we know a thing or two about life insurance.
Get started on your free quote today. Call SelectQuote at 1-800-760-1010. That's 1-800-760-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-760-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, WVON TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. WVON TV. It's cultural content on purpose.
Living in the hood is not a curse, it's an opportunity. It's your block, your opportunity, and our movement. Join me, Dr. Ro Davis, every Saturday on WVON 1690 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I help renters become homeowners and homeowners become investors. That's every Saturday on WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON Traffic and Weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. In Ryan, downtown on 95th, slow go 46 minutes. I-57 Ryan, I-80, stop and go traffic 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan, I-80, 94. Stop and go traffic due to road work, 22 minutes. Stevenson to Sable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State bumper to bumper traffic, an hour and 9 minutes. Eisenhower Wolftoll Post Office is at a snail's speed, 58 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 55 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 14 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low of 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 48 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Listen, I hope you guys are ready for this. Join Rainbow Push Coalition this Saturday, May 2nd, my son's birthday, as a matter of fact, for a special Saturday morning forum, Law Day. This forum will focus on the law as a tool for justice and civil rights, featuring keynote speaker Yusef Jackson and moderator Reverend Stephen Thurston II, with musical guest Opal Staples and Grammy Award-winning artist Isaiah Sharkey. Rainbow Push National Headquarters is located at 930 East 50th Street in Chicago. Doors open at 8:30. The forum begins at 10. Attend in person or watch live on WVON, Facebook, YouTube, The Word Network, or WJYS. Be part of the conversation and the change.
All right, we're back on the afternoon show. This is the host roundtable. Atiba, LaDonna, Rufus, Matt, and Mrs. Draper, Miss Cleopatra of the Cleopatra Show. And we're just chopping up a lot of the hot topics from the month of April. Do you guys mind?
Look, so far, Matt got 100% on this poll that we put up. Who is your favorite host on WVON?
I've
Share
been
the
around
show.
the longest, though, guys.
I just think that you got one vote and we got no vote. So,
Oh, okay,
guys,
right.
make sure you put your vote in.
But people are saying the number. Like, who's three?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, number one is Rufus. Number two is Cleopatra Draper. Number three, Matt McGill. And number four is Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh.
We're
So
all
I've
the
seen-
favorites. That's why they're not voting. It's they don't.
It's too hard.
I love all my children.
Yes.
All my children.
Let's pepper in some of these calls as promised. Art, you were first up. You're on WVON.
Hey, what's going on, young people? Well, LaDonna Raeh, your show with your co-host, to me, is the most balanced show. Then I would have to go with Matt McGill, and everybody follows. But me saying that, you know, my issue with a lot of it is when we are specifically talking about black people, black men, black women, and children, I don't like the division, especially when it comes from women, whereas always is the woman and the man somehow is always against each other. It never talks about unity and family. It's always the woman struggling, the woman is abused, the woman's don't want to have a breakdown. It's never a balance. Is that in families we have issues and it can bounce back and forth depending on what's going on in the family. But I don't believe there's more abuse or physical abuse or mental abuse is happening more than women than men. I just think men do not report it because for most men it appears to be weak, and most men don't want to appear to be weak or someone is bullying them. And
Sorry, Art.
You did it again?
I did. I was holding. I was trying to get him until he got off, but we got his point.
That's a good point,
Listen,
though.
What did he say our show was? He said balanced?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that
Yeah.
point.
Ms. Draper, I would love to hear your thoughts to Art's comment.
Cleopatra got kids. She's like,
I
yo,
know.
I'm taking
No,
her.
I mean, I don't have no response for her. I'm ready to take the next call.
Okay, no problem. We got Susan on line
Hi,
one. Hey,
Susan.
Susan.
Hello, everyone in the room.
Hey,
Atiba, move your finger or your hand. Don't cut me off.
Yeah, it's not even over yet.
Whatever you
But-
whatever utensil you got going on over there.
All right.
Susan.
That's the A-fifth.
All right. So the reason I called, I was actually following up with LaDonna with the last segment when you guys were solo.
Mm-hmm.
And you were at a loss to figure out, our response to everything that's going on with voting. We can do anything we want to do. We have two key Achilles heels, and they're equally problematic. We don't have a plan, and we refuse to get a plan. And then two, the unity. We'll fall out in a minute over a hair. So, that's where our issue comes in. Our issue comes in, it's us, And I want to say, has anybody ever asked Comey, what is 8647 supposed to mean? Or does it mean exactly what we all think it means?
I didn't think 80. I didn't know 86 meant something horrible.
If you got 86 something, means you get rid of it.
86 him. He's out of here.
I didn't know that.
You're gone.
Even just firing somebody or killing them.
86 is an old mafia term, which means 8 miles out and 6 feet deep.
And what about 187?
Oh, you know that in detail, Rufus.
And he said it with his whole chest.
7 to 9 a.m. every weekday morning.
Yeah.
All right.
And look,
even though I'm not balanced, according to some people.
And look, in the restaurant industry, if anybody's worked in the restaurant industry, they would say, hey, guys, we're 86 beer. We're 86 fillets.
That means you're out.
It's gone.
So what do we, I've never heard that. And what if your address is 8647? Are they gone too?
Only if you're
But okay. All right. Let's move on.
What I like about Comey, though, is he ain't backing down at all.
Well, he can't. And what I hate was silly Cash Patel standing there at the podium.
He looked high.
The successor to Comey sitting and saying whatever he said. I mean, you got to protect the office, one. And you've got to know that all this made absolutely no sense that any of them were there. This was an embarrassment to them, an embarrassment to the country. It is vindictive. It is ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing that ever happened.
Well, it's an exhaustion of resources. He was proud to say that he's invested 9 months. They have kibosh, sex trafficking rings. I mean, resources to find missing persons, children abuse, exploited population, and etc. And they've investigated 9 months for the numbers 8647. This is just blasphemous, if you will.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
Yeah, my guess is they didn't spend 9 months. They just wanted to say that to make it seem like something. I mean, because how long does it take?
This is what he said, and that's what's on record. So if that is the time that was invested, it is pitiful.
And it's done at the expense of taxpayers.
That's right.
Right. That's what I was going to say. They have to validate
all the
money.
planes, the outfits, the suits, the costumes, everything is at our expense. This is the grift of the 21st century.
While SNAP benefits are being cut.
And are we covering that? Because I guess there's new rules starting Friday.
Yeah, it starts on Friday.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. To continue to get SNAP, you have to work 20 hours a week or volunteer or something, 80 hours a month.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's new guidelines rolling out.
That's a rehash of the early 90s, right? They
Work
wanted
requirements.
Right. They want you to earn your
Yeah, they did.
earn your welfare.
As a matter of fact, I remember when you couldn't even show that you were in school to get SNAP benefits. You had to show that you were only focused on working to get back restored so you can get off of it because it was temporary. But that made no sense because, of course, you need the education to permanently get off the system.
Yeah, well, the penalty here is great because if people get off the system, they're off for 3 years. And so knowing what you need to do is important while this is currently in effect. Until our legislators go and change it, then this is where we're
So the challenge is, how do you figure out a system that rewards people, and not even rewards, not the right word, that serves people who really need government assistance and not the people who are exploiting it?
Well, I'd also like to point out that there's no such thing as a welfare queen in the Black community. We need to get away from that. But the people that actually need it, we're talking about people that have disabilities, seniors that cannot leave the house. They are not.
There were some welfare queens.
Absolutely. Well,
They
wait.
just
Why
got-
do you say that? Why do
No,
you say
back in the
they're
day, they
worse
had
than
some,
welfare
though.
queens?
No, back in the day, they had some, though.
Matt was one.
Oh, you said there were some.
There were some, right? Back in the day. And then that's why they started. That was the whole attack on the welfare system, right?
And that was the attack on the Black
what ushered in.
community.
No, yeah, and that's what ushered in the Republicans to control the House in the 90s. For the
Well,
first
that was the thing that Ronald Reagan pushed forward on a welfare queen that really didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
Right.
No, but see, here's the problem. There were some welfare queens, and they used them as the poster child for welfare abuse. You see what I'm saying?
Matt, to your question, though, I think in any system, you will find some people going to find a way to exploit it.
Right.
So we're not going to get rid of all of it, but the people who get damaged in trying to do that, I would much rather take care of them and allow for the fact that some are going to slip through the cracks. Some people are going to get some things they shouldn't get, but we got to take care of the people who need it.
So that is the challenge, though, of government, right? How do you take care of the people who need to be taken care of, and not be like creating an industry of manipulators of the system of government, right? So when we look at government,
industry of waste, fraud, and abuse,
waste, fraud, and
not
abuse.
That many. No, we've been through this.
Which we can agree that it happens. It happens with welfare for poor people, and it happens with welfare with rich people.
Yeah, look at all the graft and grift that's happening in Washington right now. I'd rather
in the Pentagon,
right?
Oh my God! Like the things that again we're using tax dollars to overpay for, to line the pockets of the friends of this administration, far outweighs any person getting an extra $200 a month in SNAP benefits or selling their SNAP benefits and all that.
But see, here's what I would argue, though. Here's what I would argue, though, right? On the surface, that conversation, you're correct about it, right? But in terms of how it hurts our community, I think we have to look at it and figure out like what is that worth to us, right? So let's say like if we talk about government waste and welfare abuse, then we can talk about it happens on the rich end, it happens on the poor end, right? But the rich people can survive. They're like, okay, I was getting away with some BS. The poor people can't.
I tell you what, we can't afford to miss this break. We're a minute over.
We're not going to be hungry, but for so long, and then things are going to start happening that we don't like. So it's important to take care of poor people because they're not going to starve.
You got to get this man out to the break.
Let's go. It is time for us to take a break. We'll be back. It's Atiba, LaDonna, Matt, Cleopatra, and Rufus. We'll be back right after this.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
The Chicago Urban League is holding its first ever West Side Health and Wellness Fair. It's called Thrive, and it's focused on helping West Side families achieve their best health with a range of free resources right in the community. Engage with vendors, get free health screenings for the entire family, healthy cooking demonstrations, nutrition tips, mini massages, line dancing, discussion on chronic diseases, mental health and dementia, learn about financial wellness resources, and there will be activities for the kids. Enjoy free refreshments and a chance to win free prizes. West Side Thrive is Saturday, May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Chicago Jesuit Academy, 5058 West Jackson Boulevard. And it's free and open to the public. That's Saturday, May 2nd, 10 a.m. at 5058 West Jackson Boulevard in Chicago. Chicago Urban League Thrive partners Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Beta Delta Omega Chapter, and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Rho Zeta Lambda Chapter. Register for Thrive at chideul.org. That's chiul.org.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. In Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic 46 minutes. I-57 Ryan to I-80, stop and go traffic 15 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan to I-80, 94, slow moving traffic due to road work. Bishop Ford between 115th Street and Sibley Boulevard, 19 minutes. Stevenson to Sabo Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic 1 hour and 1 minute. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office is at a snail speed, 52 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare is bumper to bumper traffic, 59 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Weather for today, Chicago. A few passing showers, high 55 and a low of 41. Tomorrow cooler by the lake, high of 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 47 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Because there's no place I can go. Street life, it's the only life I know. Street life, there's 1,000 parts to play. Street life.
Again?
We're live.
Listen, I wish you guys could hear what happens between the breaks, because it's very seldom when we are all in the same room. Cleopatra, we wish you were here, but you are here on the line. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan, LaDonna Raeh, Matt McGill, Cleopatra Draper, and of course, Rufus Williams. And we have a couple of callers that we want to go ahead and
no, not yet. We're going to keep talking.
Grab at some point.
Yes.
But if you could see what happens during the breaks, it is should I say a war over here. Okay. So we love each other still. We support each other's shows, but we definitely want you to keep putting your comments in the comments.
On something?
And hold on. And entering your choice on the polls. That's what I wanted to get to.
What comment do you see, Matt, in the chat?
So the idea, I think I see Pearson and a couple of people that are focusing on the one welfare queen that was, and saying there was one welfare queen, and they exaggerated that.
Linda Taylor.
Right.
In
But
the 70s.
hold on. I would say to you guys, is there any example in life where there's just one?
Okay, let's say it's true, Matt. Now what?
No, that's all I'm saying, though. So to think that it was just one that was used, right? I think we know better than that. You think just one black person figured out how to game?
I'll tell you what, and one black person is all it would take for Republicans to offer up unreasonable welfare.
No, we know that. That's what I'm saying.
Matt is right. Let's move to the next thing.
Right.
Thank you.
What was your topic?
No, I was just making that point for people that may have been suggesting that.
No, you're trying to be right.
Right. I was just saying.
It's okay.
I was just saying. Come on, guys. We know it's just not one.
But they treat us like a monolith anyway.
Man, when you win, man, take the win.
Take the win.
All right. Take the win.
Okay.
What
All
was your topic, Atiba and LaDonna?
One of our really spirited conversations was coming out of the National Action Network weekend, where former Vice President Kamala Harris indicated she's thinking about running. And what we did, we asked the audience, if she did run, what would she need to change this time? And it went for 2 hours. It was nonstop. Everybody had an opinion. Some people thinking she should run. Some people saying she can go sit down.
Her name.
And change her name, Matt. So I would love to pose that question to each of you, starting with Mrs. Draper.
If it was up to Matt, not only her name, her gender. Listen, guys.
I didn't say that, though.
No, yeah, you have. I listen to you all the time. You said that we're not ready for a female, and I think the future is female.
We proved that. America has proved that.
I think the future is female, and I think that's why America is last ranking in a lot of places when it comes to where we're going. And men have led us here thus far. We're in an unconstitutional, unsanctioned war, and you have no way of getting out of it. A man led us here. So, do I support her? Absolutely. Is there a pathway for her? Hell yes. She broke every ceiling, shattered every record in 107 days against a 12-year challenger. 12 years a slave, let alone a challenger. Think about that.
Here's what I would say. You had Hillary Clinton, the most politically connected white woman, run for president, and she didn't win. And then we had the most qualified black woman, Kamala Harris, run for president, and she didn't win. Women in America ain't trying.
America's sick.
But it's the women ain't trying. The women aren't trying to elect a woman president, right?
I bet America is sick. I just watched a poll this morning of 12 registered Republican voters that voted for Trump. 9 of 12 were sick. Okay, so I think if the election was today, they'll dial it back all the way, but we don't have no choice but to hold on for the next 2 years.
How many men voted for Kamala Harris, though, guys?
I don't know how many. I know I was one of them.
And I was one of them. And Atiba was probably one of them. And a lot of our friends and everybody we know was one of them.
Men did take us into the war, but not all men. It was this man. It was those who were
I
there.
said this man. I said singular. I said this man. If we want to call him a man, because where I stand, he's not a man. He's just as well as perceived of men genitalia, because he's conceived children, but he's not a man. Bone Spurs has never even stepped foot in war, let alone sign up for war. Yeah, but yet our children are destined to die in war if we keep him as commander-in-chief.
I voted for a woman twice, and I'm like, all right, it's not me.
No, but it's not me. There was a lot more to that. And this is what let's talk about James Comey, who had a lot to do with putting his finger on the scale when Hillary was running.
Mm-hmm.
And so he stepped out at the most inopportune time for her.
What was it, 10 days before the election?
Yeah,
maybe? Something like that?
And started calling for emails, which tipped the scale. It did, in fact, tip the scale. Kamala Harris had 107 days, and look where she was. And if people, to your point, if people were honest with what was happening, Trump didn't debate anybody in that whole time because she tore his self up.
But it didn't matter, right? That was the same debate where he accused, was it Haitians?
Eating cats and dogs.
He said that with a straight face. That would have been so utterly disqualifying for literally anyone else.
That's what makes the question when you ask about the Pope versus Trump.
Mm-hmm. They picked Trump.
There are some people who are so far in that they can't do anything any different. They bought whatever.
I mean, that's like the pits of hell. When you so far deep, you ain't getting down to no ice water, Rufus.
Right.
It's a wrap. So you might as well ride it out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they have a vote, though, and we have to figure out how to neutralize that. We have to figure out how to make our votes be more worthy than those. Yeah,
we got to extend the universe. We got to bring new voters because the ones that's already in hell ain't getting no ice water.
Well, we got to bring ours out and people and help to teach people that their vote does matter, because it does, and that's what allows for Donald Trump and whatever that is that he brings and all those he brought with him to be where they are.
And that was mentioned on our earlier conversation, why the gerrymandering is so important to the government, because it is breaking up or bringing together all of the Black citizens in that particular state, because our vote is so strong. We did talk about that earlier with our guests. One
thing I want to do, because we're 5 o'clock, I just want to preview some of the topics we got coming on the other side. We got to talk about WVON turning 60, right? We have to talk about Spending the Black. That happened in April. So we want to definitely recap that. And then teen and parent takeovers. We definitely want to make sure we touch that before we end this conversation.
Did the mayor tell you all if he was going to run for re-election?
He did not.
Did you ask him?
We did not.
We asked Alexi Janulius if he was going to run.
And he wouldn't tell us. All right, we're going to take a real quick break for news, traffic, and weather, but more with the host on the other side.
Happy Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Bears announced dates for their off-season program. John Rogers joins the Matt McGill Show to discuss insurance. Specialist gives advice on weight vests. And folks making Cinco de Mayo plans this week. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, WVON, 1690 AM, Berwyn, Chicago.
Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First. The man accused of attempting to kill the president lived this unassuming life in Torrance, California as an educator. So when 31-year-old Cole Allen was arrested and charged for barging in the hotel, interrupting the White House Correspondents' Dinner, those back home were floored.
It's just one of those things where you just never know who you're around.
That woman's daughter was around him. Cole Allen, who describes himself as half black and half white, was a children's tutor. So good, he got Teacher of the Month a couple of years ago.
Obviously, his behavior with the kids must have been good for him to get that recognition. While she was here, I did feel like she was safe. I never had the feeling like anything was wrong.
Now, instead of teaching in school, he's in jail, facing the journey of the justice system. The homeless lying on the streets of Louisiana could face arrest, and if they can't pay the fine, they may be forced to work for free to pay it off. There is outrage over House Bill 211 now moving through the legislature. A critic telling WBRZ TV, where's the compassion?
Louisiana is one of the poor, it might be the poorest state in the nation. We have a homeless problem, and the last thing we need to do is to criminalize homelessness.
The legislation, which is named Streets to Success, outlaws sleeping or camping on public property. Also, the bill will create a new court system specifically to deal with the homeless. The unhoused may be forced to pay for treatment or even forced into free labor. Republican Representative Debbie Villio is the bill's sponsor.
We're not looking to jail anyone. We're looking to integrate them with the criminal justice system in an effort to connect them to service providers.
A BIN update. This Houston cop has been fired.
Because it was like me expressing how much I fucking hated people after this. Like, dog, like, let me get a black person on a 911 call tomorrow, especially you're going to fucking...
That's a snippet of the shocking race-based rant by now former Houston cop Ashley Gonzalez. She makes it very clear she despises black people, and black people in Houston were outraged after it was posted on social media. Some protested in front of police headquarters.
We're humans first.
Demands for her termination were heard. She was fired, but it is not over. Now officials are looking into her caseload. With her views on black people, there is concern if her oath to protect and serve applied equally to all. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeart Radio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, stay connected to the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network. Join our conversation on Blue Sky at Black InfoNet and follow me at Vanessa Tyler 1 on Instagram. I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, VON TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. VON TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic 41 minutes. I-57 Ryan's I-80, no delays. 15 minutes of stop and go traffic. Bishop Ford Ryan's I-80, 94. Slow moving traffic due to road work, 19 minutes. Stevenson due Sabo, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic 56 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office. Please be cautious. There is an accident causing the left lane to be blocked. Eisenhower before Harlem Avenue, 55 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare. Stop and go traffic 54 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing 15 minutes. Weather for 2 days, Chicago, a few passing showers, high 55 and a low 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 47 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Get ready for the return of the largest blues festival in the world. The Chicago Blues Festival is heading to Millennium Park June 4th through the 7th, and WVON will be there. Will you?
Hey, the blues is all right. Hey, the blues is all right. WVON.
Chicago's essential storyteller is celebrating its birthday. WVON is more than a radio station. It's been Black Chicago's cultural hub, 6 decades strong and counting.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
I've got a song, ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends.
All right, guys, we are back. We're having such a great time. And
Oh my gosh,
I'm with
are
you.
we?
I wish they could hear what's happening in between.
Okay, we need in.
We put Matt out.
Yeah, well, he put himself out.
Why won't anybody say they're running for mayor?
Yeah, we haven't heard it from.
No, well, we did hear from Quigley said he was going to run.
Is he somebody that people care is running?
He's in Congress.
Yeah.
Now, you only remember it because I told you. I only remember because I had to think about it. But the
Right.
people who would be the front runners, why is it that nobody
Well,
is
it's still a lot of
saying that
time
they're-
to announce, though, right?
I mean, people have
It's
money
as
in
much
their war
time-
chest, though. They
It's
have
a-
money.
It is as much time as you decide to take. I mean, there are some reasons why you might want to be ahead of the game. There are some reasons why not. But, inquiring minds want to know.
Well, we can talk about that, and we can talk about the current administration.
Well, we just did.
We've seen a what would be, while he's still way underwater, as far as his approval rating, it has jumped precipitously from 6% or 6 or 7% now to 33, 34%.
Who?
Mayor Johnson. And so, yeah, it was that low. And so my question is, one, what do we think his chances are? And what course correction would he need to make from here through, if any, through election time to help assure victory? And I'll start with you, Matt.
What he needs to do is reach out more to people that disagree with him. He needs to be more diplomatic and understand that running for office is a beauty contest. It's not about who's right or wrong or who has the best policies. It's about who likes you the most, right? So I think, for the people that like him, like we do, I do, we love him, right? For the people who don't like him, they hate him. And you've got to massage that space somehow if you're going to win.
Cleopatra, what does Mayor Johnson need to do?
Mayor Johnson needs to continue to stay Black, uplift his message, and then continue to grow in terms of welcoming back folks that have been pushed out. I think he's doing a great job with expanding his reach. And for those that have yet to forgive him for how he stood tall during the humanitarian crisis, may God keep them, because you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I suggest that he keeps on showing up to work and expanding his network.
Mr. Rufus Williams.
There is a contingent probably of people, of areas where I think it would be good if he touched deeper in. I think that when you talk about taxing the rich and getting more from the rich, you got to bring them into the tent. I think the business community needs to be brought into the tent in a greater way. I know that in our community, the mayor speaks quite a bit about what he does for us, and that should not be done in a way that's off-putting to any other group. And so
Okay.
those groups need to be brought in.
So it's more of a
well.
political. He has to be a little bit better politician, and
No,
he's
no,
definitely.
getting the message right.
That's
The
what
business community is the community.
That's the community. So you've got to bring them. You've got to bring them in a significant way, so that they know that they are part of what's going on. They are part of the solution, as opposed to, in many ways, being seen as the problem.
LaDonna Raeh.
I think there's a PR addressing that needs to take place with Mayor Brandon Johnson. It's okay to focus on Black employment and getting those people or getting our people into certain positions, but you don't have to make the announcement. Just let them watch you work. That's number one. Number two, I think Mayor Johnson, with him learning on the job, people always like to point that out. Okay, let's get over it. Everyone learns on the job, because if it's their first time being a mayor, then they're learning on the job. But if he is the mayor of Chicago, he has to be the mayor of the entire Chicago. And that's the messaging that has to get out. There's no way I could see someone only focusing on Ukrainians or Polish or whites or any other group that I'm not a part of, and I would vote for them. I want to hear my inclusion as well. We talk about the repeal of DEI, but then we push that I'm only these are and we're focusing on, them being Black and African American and look, we get it. I'd rather see it. We don't need to hear it. And he needs to sell I Hate Mayor Brandon Johnson t-shirts so he can get money into his war chest.
Rufus, who's going to run, period, for sure?
Mayor Johnson's going to run. I think that the clerk is going to run. Not the clerk, the Maria Pappas.
Mendoza. Oh.
I think Mendoza's going to run because she doesn't have an office right now, right? Mike Quigley's obviously going to run. I'm not sure about Alexi.
Even with all that money?
I'm not sure about Alexi. I don't think the money says that you've got to run for mayor. I think there are other offices. Look, Alexi was really close to going to Congress, and people loved him in his reaction when he didn't go. Alexi has a big war chest. He has a lot of people who work for him now in the role that he's in. I don't know that.
Probably the most people in the state, Secretary of State's
office. I think it is. So I don't know that this is necessarily the role for Alexi. I think it may be something different, something bigger. You kind of roll through all of the chips and you ask, what's Governor Pritzker going to do? And what happens when he does that? When Governor Pritzker decides to run for president, what happens if he wins? Obviously Christian Mitchell will be he's the lieutenant governor moving right in. But there are a lot of people that aren't going to just step back and say, I'm not going to run against Christian because he will not have been there for a lot of times.
Yeah.
Is that a bigger, better role? Is that a role that Alexi might think about? Maybe. I think that there are
Chris
probably
Welch,
some bigger. Chris Welch is absolutely, the Speaker of the House has got to be factored in for those roles. So I don't know that his war chest says this has got to be it.
Yeah.
One would also have to think about, what do ex-mayors of Chicago do? Take Rahm out of the equation. What do ex-mayors of Chicago do? There's not a role that's necessarily going to them.
They get a golden parachute if you think about Daley and how he sold the parking meters.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of what they do politically or with jobs or otherwise. The mayor of New York, you got the same thing. What do ex-mayors of big cities do? And what is that where you kind of see Alexi going? I don't necessarily see it.
Matt, your thoughts?
Well, I think, if Alexi runs, then he's a North Side Democrat, and Quigley's a North Side Democrat, and there's a possibility that you'll have another North Side Democrat jump in the race. So I think here's what's interesting. You saw what happened to Christian Morthy, right? You can have the money and still lose.
Right. And you can have more than one Black person run and still lose.
Exactly.
The vote is split like people used to think that it was.
I think Mayor Johnson is in the runoff. So no matter what happens, I think he's in the runoff. So
top two
your calculus has to be how do I get in the runoff if I'm Alexi, if I'm Quigley, if I'm Mendoza? All of those people are pulling votes, right, that Brandon Johnson necessarily is not going for, right? So they're all fighting to see who's going to be in the runoff.
Real quick, Cleopatra, before we go to break, your thoughts.
I mean, it's easy. Janelius runs for governor. I think Janelius Warchest positions him quite proper. With all respect to Mitchell, his resume, his statewide name ID, and then is the race card. I mean, will he play well in the red collar counties? Absolutely. But I don't see him running for mayor anymore. I think the mayor is it's not a headache, but it's a heavy toll. And for governor, he's more familiar in statewide politics. So that's what I say. And then for the others, I agree. And then I think this is going to be the first time we watch a lot of white-facing candidates cannibalize themselves. So it's going to get interesting.
Very interesting. And you took us right to the break. This is our last break of this conversation, guys. We'll be right back. You're listening to the host of WVON.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
It's Rufus Williams. Every weekday morning from 7 to 9, I break down what's really going on. Politics, power, and the people shaping our communities. Think of it like your morning newspaper. Headlines, context, and what it actually means. So you can take it in, sit with it, and move smarter through your day. If you're part of the Roo Crew, you already know. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, the comments are a whole other show. A family reunion happening in real time. Listen live or on the WVON app, or join us on Facebook Live. It's the Rufus Williams Show, weekdays 7 to 9, right here on 1690 WVON. Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria Browne-Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON Traffic and Weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic. 43 minutes, and please be cautious. There is an accident on the left shoulder. Dan Ryan past 51st Street, 43 minutes. I-57 Ryan to I-80, stop and go traffic, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94, slow go, 17 minutes. Stevenson to Sabo, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, bumper-to-bumper traffic, 59 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office, stop and go traffic, 15 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 49 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, few passing showers, high 55, and a low 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57 and a low of 39. It's currently 47 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, guys, welcome back to the afternoon show, the Rufus Williams show, the Cleopatra show, and the Matt McGill show. Wow. You're listening to WVON 1690, the monthly roundtable. Yes, that's right. We do this each and every month. We just started last month, well, earlier this month.
Each and every month for the last month.
Right. On the first of it. Look, don't do that. You know what? I love Rufus. Okay. But watch this. During the break, I did ask a very interesting question. Matt McGill and Rufus were going at it.
She said so herself.
I said, why do so many Black people crap on Mayor Brandon Johnson? Why is that? Why does it take someone to be in office that we have wanted? We always want a Black mayor. Then when we get one, we find every flaw, everything to go to the airwaves about, to post about on social media. It's a constant hate for our mayor that's in office, in that seat. We'd rather just vote for someone else and hope for the best.
Well, let me just say this. I would never want to be mayor of Chicago. I think it's one of the most thankless jobs one could ever have. And I haven't seen us as a people, quote unquote, like a mayor since Harold Washington. So that being said, I do believe Mayor
Black
Johnson.
people that hate the Black mayor.
Hear me out. I think, and you might have touched on it too. What I saw was a lot of individuals that were getting their 15 minutes of fame, being able to go to these meetings, curse out Mayor Johnson on camera. It go viral. It makes the news. Some of the things that they were saying, I mean, it's one thing to have a disagreement with the man, but it's another thing to do what people were doing. And I think many people were just looking, because if you go on camera and you say what a great job he's done, that's not going viral.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going anywhere. You know, it does go viral when you quote unquote put the mayor in his place. And I saw a lot of people just seeming to relish in those moments.
Yeah. Rufus?
I don't have an answer.
Cleopatra?
I don't have an answer because haven't had the conversation with anybody. And so I don't know who the people are who don't like him. I know that we all have an opportunity to speak with him. We ask him the questions that we need to ask him, and we get the answers that come, and then decisions are made otherwise. But I can't answer it because I haven't talked to the people who don't like him. And even, people were taking turns against Mayor Lightfoot, but we had the same thing when Mayor Lightfoot was on. Those people, they weren't calling in. We weren't talking to them. So either Cleopatra or somebody with Cleopatra has a comment.
I think the baby knows.
The baby,
Ask
the baby the answer. Somebody over there knows.
No, I've talked to a lot of folks, and I will say it's a lot of white folk that got a lot of Black folk on payroll. Let's call a thing a thing. There's a clear infiltration in our community because we've been starved. And you have an initiative from a lot of different groups. I won't say them because I don't want to activate them for our show. Sure in the hell not mine. But the point that I'm making is it is not just Black on Black. This is a whole nother cabal in Chicago where they don't want another Black leader. They are exhausted. Hence why Brendan Riley ran a losing campaign against Madam President Preckwinkle. Anybody that ain't Black at this point, because you have an emboldened racist at the top of the ticket. So that's what I got to say.
And what does that other gentleman with you have to say? Because we love hearing his
second
voice.
the notion.
Rufus, we got about 4 minutes left. What would you like to close with?
Well, A few things. One, excited about this week, excited about the International Day of Jazz, excited about that happening tomorrow. Heard some wonderful
Did you get Herbie
jazz.
Hancock?
Not yet. I
Okay.
keep looking. Didn't get him, but Herbie Hancock, Chicago's own from Hyde Park High School, is one of the co-founders of the International Day of Jazz. Big concert taking place tomorrow evening at the Lyric Opera House. Tickets are scarce because there's a lot of people and not a lot of seats, but it will be live streamed.
Did you get a media pass?
I'm going. But the fact that this is the 15th year and Chicago is the hub of it is a really big deal.
That's right.
And I'm really jazzed. I'm really jazzed
You're
about
jazzed?
that.
No fun.
That is a big deal.
Matt, we got 3 minutes left. You can have one of them.
What is it?
Whatever you want it to be.
What's the question? I think Black representation matters. I think the Supreme Court ruling today is obvious and matters there as well. And we just have to understand unity. Where are we? Are we supporting each other? I think we have to push back on division, right? So Black man is the most hated person in America. The Black woman is the most victimized person. Black people are, guys. Let's stick together and understand this fight is bigger than some of these smaller arguments
We're in this together.
Mhm.
Miss LaDonna Raeh.
I'd like to say that, we need to really support our own PACs. Don't get upset about the other PACs. Support your own so that we are prepared. And it helps us to not just get ready, but to stay ready. And having a voice on VON, guys, when you call in, call with some solutions, whatever you want to hear about. If we're not covering it, let us know so that we can put some eyeballs and voices on it. And that's why we have this station. I love having this platform, and I love connecting with all of you, especially the other shows.
I'm going to defer now to Brother Wall's favorite host, as he says in the chat, Miss Cleopatra.
Woohoo! She's the most dangerous woman. Who said that?
I appreciate it. So
Art said
listen,
that. Okay.
for me tomorrow, the highlight is Donna Brazile. So as we're talking about strategy, a top ticket strategist, just to sit with Donna Brazile is a big deal. So, tune in, guys. But as LaDonna and everybody else said, weigh in where we see fit. But all the Black votes we can, make sure they rise and sure so we can sell on out of here if they keep cutting up.
Thank you so much.
That's a good one. Are you going to close this out, Atiba?
I was going to.
Well, before you do, one more thing. Make sure that you check out the Rufus Williams Travel Club at WVON.com.
I'm going to South Carolina.
We're going to South Carolina.
I'm going with you, man.
You better come, man.
Yes.
It's going to be an unbelievable trip, October 8th through 12th.
Yeah.
Go there, go to
Yeah.
WVON.com, see the banner, and join us.
All right. I love that. That's called action, guys. So listen to Rufus Williams at from 7 to 9, Cleopatra from 9 to 12, Matt McGill from 12 to 3, and of course,
Stallion.
to jump in with us from 3 to 6. I want to thank all of you guys for coming on to the Oh yeah, all right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Atiba still.
You
got
may
something
speak
to say.
now.
Thank you. It was just, I wanted to do exactly what you were doing.
Yeah.
Thank all of our hosts. Rufus, we appreciate you hanging out. Matt, you've been here 4.5 hours. So Rufus, you came back. Cleopatra, thank you for taking time. Clearly, you got a lot going on at home. I don't say that with any shade. I'm saying you're a busy person, but you still made time for us, and we appreciate you on every level. And then my esteemed co-host, Miss LaDonna Raeh, this has been fantastic.
It has.
And I can't wait till we do it again
Next month.
Baby was saying, "I'm hungry, Cleopatra." That's what was happening.
So
And I'm feeding him.
And that's why he's quiet.
So the last Wednesday of May, we will be doing this again, guys.
You got it. All right, guys, sit tight. We got another great guest and conversation coming up on the other side. You're listening to the afternoon show. I'm spoiled. Now we're not gonna have so much
Well, Chris
confidence.
is holding, so we will get to him when we come back.
You got it.
The con.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to news, traffic, and weather. Logan, it's time.
Thank you, LaDonna. Happy Happy Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. John Rogers appeared on the Matt McGill Show to discuss investing strategies and market insights. Rogers, who is the founder and co-CEO of Ariel Investments, shared his perspective on long-term investing and building wealth through disciplined financial planning.
Ariel Mutual Funds has been around since 1986. We have several mutual funds, international, global, domestic funds. And they're, what we're trying to do is get people to get them added to their 401k plans at their place of employment. Just adding one more item to the shelf. You don't have to fire anybody, just add us. Treasurer Mike Frericks got us added as an option in the 529 program here in Illinois. So anybody that's got kids can open up an account with Ariel funds as a part of the 529.
He emphasized the importance of staying patient during market volatility and focusing on fundamentals. The conversation highlighted his experience as a veteran investor and leader in the finance industry. In other news, the Bears are releasing the dates for their off-season schedule. Rookie minicamp will be held May 8th and 9th. 2 sessions of organized team activities, also known as OTAs, are scheduled for May 27th through the 29th and June 2nd through the 4th. Mandatory minicamp is set for June 9th through 11th. Dates for training camp have yet to be announced. The 2026 NFL schedule is expected to be released in mid-May. In other news, former President Barack Obama and former Vice President Kamala Harris sharply criticized a Supreme Court decision that weakens protections in the Voting Rights Act. Obama said the ruling opens a door for states to dilute minority voting power through partisan and redistricting. Harris warned that the decision will make it easier for legislators to redraw maps that disadvantage Black and other minority voters. Both leaders said the fight now shifts to state governments, where new congressional maps are expected to be drawn ahead of upcoming elections. And Purdue Pharma must pay a 9-figure fine, ending the criminal case against the OxyContin maker and enabling it to go out of business. Andrew Whitman reports.
A federal judge sentenced Purdue to pay a $225 million fine. This after the company's guilty plea in 2020 connected to its marketing and distribution of OxyContin, a key to the opioid epidemic in the U.S. The rest of Purdue's $7.4 billion settlement plan is earmarked for impacted communities, governments, and individuals. The company's chairman apologized to victims late in the hearing. Purdue will cease to exist as of Friday. Its assets will be transferred to Noah Pharma, which aims to develop treatments to the opioid crisis. In New York, I'm Andrew Whitman.
I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
It's Gospel with Pam Morris-Walton, your gospel sister, on WVON Sundays, 11 to 2 p.m. Music to help you on your journey. I'll see you there, WVON.
Living in the hood is not a curse, it's an opportunity. It's your block, your opportunity, and our movement. Join me, Dr. Rose Davis, every Saturday on WVON 1690 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I help renters become homeowners and homeowners become investors. That's every Saturday on WVON.
This report is brought to you by Lowe's. Spring into deals at Lowe's. Shops the Green Premium 2 cubic feet mulch, 5 bags for $10. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Valid through May 6th. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii, while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is the traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th. Stop and go traffic, and please be cautious. There is an accident on the left shoulder. Dan Ryan past 51st Street, 36 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80. Stop and go traffic, 14 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94. Slow go due to road work, 18 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Bumper to bumper traffic, 48 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolftown Post Office, stop and go traffic, 51 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 53 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. A few passing showers, high 55, and a low 41. Tomorrow, cooler by the lake, high 57, and a low of 49. It's currently 47 degrees and cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Do you want to get out? What you gonna do? You want to get out? What you gonna do? You want to get out? Tell me. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on then. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it.
Chicagoland is filled with friends, fun, and traffic. Skip the stress of gridlock and hop on board Metra to get where you're going quickly, comfortably, and most of all, safely. Metra's 95% on-time rate means you'll never be late for the moments that matter, and their low fares mean you don't have to break the bank. Plus, with the new regional day pass, you can enjoy unlimited rides on Metra, CTA, and Pace for only $2.50 with the purchase of a Metra day pass. Purchasing tickets is easy with the Ventra app, and you can bring the whole family because children under 11 ride free. Now you can skip traffic, get where you're going fast, and save more. So stop sitting in never-ending gridlock and paying for expensive parking. Take Metra so you can drive less, do more.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, you're listening to the afternoon show on WVON 1690. You know that actually we have some really good things coming up. And one thing that we cannot forget about in the month of May is Mother's Day. So our next guest, can you bring him on, Atiba? Yeah, our next guest is Wynona Redmond. She is the founder and visionary behind Dear Me Care Circle, a movement rooted in something real and often overlooked, caregiving. And you know that is dear to my heart. Welcome, Wynona.
Hi there. Good to see you guys.
There we go. Thank you for unmuting.
That poll is still up. I can't seem to find how to get it down. And of course, we have in the building Linda Kelly, president of the Chatham Business Association. Welcome to the show as well.
Thank you. Always glad to be home. That's what I feel like when I'm with you guys.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
I'm loving it. So now you guys have an event coming up, and in the wake of Mother's Day, this is an impactful event. Why don't you guys give us a lead in to what this event is called? It's called the Dear Me Care Circle. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, LaDonna, I know that you have the Caregiving Chronicles and you are well familiar with caregiving. And I love Melody Span Cooper. She is my, you know, we were Ramblers at Loyola years ago. Won't say how many years ago. And, you know, I talked to her and Pierre about, you know, they cared for their fathers and Melody's caring for her mother. It is such an honor to care for our loved ones. But Mother's Day is a big holiday, right? My mom, Lucy Redmond Wright, passed away July 4th of 2023. And I looked up and we were in caregiving. And I was like, how am I going to have a first Mother's Day without my mother? But it was a humbling experience to deal with caregiving. And I started Dear Me Care Circle as a nonprofit for family caregivers. My grandmother, Ruby Butler, was when she was born, Offie and Lily Pitts, my great-grandparents named her Dear Me. And as soon as she turned 18, she changed her name to Ruby Butler. But I started Dear Me Care Circle. I cared for my grandmother. We all cared for my grandmother in her last days. And she was like, I don't want you to have to do this for me. And I'm like, didn't you care for me? Didn't you change my diapers when I was a baby? Wow. It's such a humbling opportunity to care for loved ones. So Dear Me Care Circles celebrates family caregivers. We're honoring Malinda Kelly and her family. We're honoring a lot of policymakers care for their mothers. We're giving Lieutenant Governor congressional candidate Juliana Stratton a lifetime award. She cared for her mother, Miss Wiggins, as a primary caregiver until she passed away with Alzheimer's. We have Pastor Chris Harris, who cares for his mom. Lots of people we're honoring, but Malinda can tell you, we are honoring folks in it right now. And when you are a busy professional and then you're doing caregiving and getting services for your loved ones, that's who the Dear Me Care Circle is, the circle of caregivers like Malinda, who's being honored.
I love
How
this. Yeah, go ahead.
just hearing you speak so passionately, you don't view caregiving as a burden, which many of us do. And I'm not even saying anyone's wrong for that. But it does make me curious to know when you talk about it being humbling and an honor, how did you develop such a grateful disposition around it?
But Atiba, the honest to God truth is it's exhausting. It's heart work, but it's hard work. And professionals, that's why I did this. Hermine Hartman cared for her mother at home until she was 101. When you are busy running a schedule and then caring, it's emotional. And the reason I did this was so many people gave me advice along the way. Nelvia Brady was telling me about the Hoyer, when you have to lift your mom. And, so the circle is so that we can come together and compare notes. We can look at resources. These policymakers have cared for their loved ones. Senator Kimberly Lightford, brought her mother home and cared for her before she passed. And she said, I'm getting ready to get serious. Camille Lilly was like, I'm going to work on changing these numbers because we don't have the resources. When Medicaid is getting ready to get cut, we have family caregivers that don't even get the resources or funding to care for loved ones. They're doing it out of their pocket and out of their hearts.
I love it. Malinda Kelly, I want to bring you into the fold, especially with you being the president of Chatham Business Association. I was unaware that you had cared for your loved one and for how long that went on. Tell us a little bit about what it was for you to be a caregiver. And you said for your mother it was?
Yeah, she is. And my mother still is alive. And one of the things I'm so grateful to Wynona to bring the attention is that most of us are already caregiving in the community. We're already giving from our heart and we're already juggling. I've had to call Wynona and others because at some point you realize you need help, but you want trustworthy help. You want good health. You want to give the same quality of the caregiving you give to our professional lives and to the community and to the policymakers. You want to balance that out with home and still manage. So to be recognized for this work is so important because LaDonna, we're at many meetings, we're organizing things. Can you imagine double timing that for someone who you love, who you respect, who once told you what to do? And one of the things about caregiving for your parents is such a balance. It's not like raising a child where you got your hand put, you're trying to, they're always trying to remind you that you are their child. But at the same time,
they
you got to make
yours.
some decisions. Yeah. And keep their respect and keep their quality of life in place.
I think you faded out just a little bit. Just a tad. It went mute. There you go.
Somebody keeps muting me on your side. No, I'm just kidding. So it's tough, and it's just such an honor to be recognized for that part of it because we get a lot of awards for recognitions, but this is one of the ones that I think was just dearest to my heart because you're caring for someone you love. And honestly, my mom is excited too. So, she wanted to check the list. Are you bringing this person? But what we decided to do was also invite other mothers and daughters who are in this busy season and caring for our parents. So I'm just so honored to be recognized, to be a part of this particular day right before Mother's Day.
We have a great event this Saturday. We got good food. We're celebrating mothers.
Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it.
We're celebrating mothers, and I'm so glad Malinda's bringing her mom. We're honoring two moms. We're honoring Helen Robinson posthumously, but Grace Little and Pastor Mark Hinton, their mother, Corrine Little, is one of our mother honorees of the year. And so we're going to have lots of mothers in the house. We're going to have caregivers in the house. Juliana Stratton is our lifetime policymaker caregiver, but the late Tracy Austin, her family is caregivers of the year. Her daughters have carried on her legacy for the First Lady's Health Initiative. So when you come to Malcolm X College, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., we still have tickets available at Dear Me Care Circle events.org. You can come, you can shop. We're going to have great food, entertainment. Kim Stratton is singing and catering. And we've got
I'm sorry, what you say?
saxophonists. You got saxophonists and you got a panel.
Wait, who's singing?
Kim Stratton, gospel singer Kim Stratton.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
And
Nice.
Mark, we've got a great saxophonist that'll be serenading the mothers. We've got a panel.
What's his name?
Mark Felton.
Okay, cool.
Mark Felton. He was just up north at Black Ensemble in that play that just ended Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
He's a caregiver for his mom. He's the caregiver for his mom. He moved home from LA to take care of his mom so that she didn't have to leave her home.
Wow. You know what? I know I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this and getting us into the thick of it. I'm going to put the link into our comments so that everybody can see how to go and get their tickets. But this is the 3rd annual Pre-Mother's Day Brunch and Awards Ceremony, Saturday, May 2nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's at Malcolm X College. Go ahead, Wynona. I'm sorry.
No, it's at Malcolm X College. My mother, Lucy Redmond Wright, was a nursing student at Malcolm X College. And Malcolm X College prepares medical professionals. So we're happy to be at Malcolm X College. And Grace Little will tell you that Malcolm X was a relative of theirs. So when you hear Mother Korean talk, it's a great thing. Come out and join us.
Well, congratulations, Malinda Kelly.
So thank you.
Yes, and congratulations to you, Wynona Redmond, for even giving this award and recognizing caregivers. I mean, I'm just getting the chills right now, just loving this. Have a great event, and wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for all that you do. I know that you guys are connected, and thank you for shining the light on caregiving. Melody was like, we're doing it.
All right. Okay, guys, we got to move to traffic and weather. And when we come back, we're going to put a button on this day. It's been a long one. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's a thoughtful Thursday on the Cleopatra Show, and I am pouring some piping hot black tea for us to sip. Join me for an exclusive interview with the Donna Brazile. She's witty, well-read, politically versed, but above all, she's a fierce advocate for the salvation of democracy in America. Her resume is measured by those that came before her, Black women that built the stairs that she ascended on and stands on today. She rose from the civil rights era, and the message she shared with me is that we signed up for the movement whether we like it or not. You don't want to be late for class. Tune in Thursday only on the Cleopatra Show at 9 a.m.
Hey, baby! I'm your Magnolia Blues man, Sir Henry Cheatham, inviting you to join us on WVON 1690 for some real American music and culture. Here on Classic Blues and R&B. Check us out Saturday, 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. on WVON and Classic Blues and R&B.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbelievable deals on both. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This makes me want to do the bus stop. Is that right? Something like that. You're listening to WVON 1690. Ooh. The Talk of Chicago, the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Raeh. You know what? We had such a fantabulous day today. And I think every day is a good day because we get to get our voices heard. I want to thank all of our callers, all of our sponsors, those of you that are listening that are business owners. You know what? We got commercial slots for you. I can see you advertising with us. That's just my point. Just my thing. We have reached so many decision makers, homeowners, educators, CEOs, directors, managers, those that are working out in the field, blue collar, white collar, you name it. They listen to this station. WVON has been around for 63 years. Look, you know, Atiba, I like how you asked me yesterday on the spot. I wasn't expecting it. You said, tell LaShawn, our guest, LaShawn Sanders, tell LaShawn about WVON. And I was ready to roll up my sleeves because I've been here long enough to know the legacy. I've been here long enough and I've been listening long enough to know it by heart. But you get those intricate details when you work for the company.
That's right.
I remember working for the Alzheimer's Association. They didn't even walk me to my office on my first day. I got walked to watch a video. And that was to learn what Alzheimer's was.
Yeah.
And just a few days ago, I messed it up. But it's about charge it to my head, not my heart, because Alzheimer's hit me really hard in my own family. And when I saw that, I was all made up, dressed up. And when I came out, I looked like Tammy Faye Baker, right? I'm telling my age. Eyeliner was all the way runny because I was in tears. It was so sad. So when you work for a company, you're definitely part of the brand. And I want to make sure that everybody knows how much we appreciate you. And we want to welcome you. If you are a business owner or you have something to say, use that open mic feature on our app. If you download the WVON app, you will have access to us no matter where you are in your pocket digitally, and you will have access to VON TV. So you may want to watch on the go or listen on the go. You have that option. But there is an open mic feature that's on the app that allows you to tell us how much you love us, how much you may not love us. You can also give us your thoughts on any given topic or some topic ideas that you want us to talk about. We are welcoming all of you to do that.
All right, guys. One thing I want to make mention of, and I'm actually soliciting your prayers and support. Today, my dad had a surgery. It appears to have gone well. It was a significant procedure, and I'm headed now to go see him at the hospital. So I just want to ask your prayers. I know the prayers of the righteous availeth much, and my family needs you guys in this moment. So thank you and I know a lot of you pray for me as it is. So I thank you for your support.
I love that you put that out there because there are some prayer warriors. I lead morning prayer on Tuesdays. So I would sing for your dad when you get there. If you want to FaceTime me, I'm available. I need you now. So go ahead and sing it. But I tell you what we want to do is put a spotlight on the WVON song, the official WVON song that's going to be played so that we can get out of here and you guys can listen to it and learn it. We would love to hear you guys sing it on the open mic feature. We will see you tomorrow on the afternoon show.
Relationship Thursday.
It's Relationship Thursday. You're going to love it. We have special guest Rick Party. He's going to weigh in. Cheryl Grace. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Atiba Buchanan, LaDonna Raeh. Bye-bye for now.
Chess records, magic, R&B and blues. From the south side, the rhythm infused. Spinning records, setting the tone. A station with soul, a voice of its own. But as the city rose, so did the call. WVON stood strong through it all. WVON, the voice of the street. The voice of the street. From the blues to the soul, where hearts meet. When hearts meet. When silence fell, you raised the sound. From the heart of Chicago, you stood your ground. Yeah. Not just music, but a beacon of light. When the struggle was real, you gave us might. Marches and dreams, justice and peace. WVON brought the voices that wouldn't cease. Dr. King spoke and the airwaves carried the dreams of a people, the burden they buried. From the church to the corner, from the night to the dawn, WVON was the echo, the enduring song. Yeah, WVON, the voice of the time, from the struggle and the triumph, the rhythm and the rhyme, you turn the dial into a pathway of hope, from the soul of the city, you gave us the scope, yeah. Chicago's politics, history stage, Harold Washington's victory, a brand new page. You lent your voice to the people's fight, a city transformed from day to night. And then a young senator found his way through the airwaves. He spoke and swayed. Barack Obama, the future clear. WVON made the vision appear. From the voice of the Negro to the nation's call. From soulful tunes to justice for all. You shaped the sound. You shaped the day. WVON. You paved the way. Through the years, the mission remained a legacy of truth that never waned. Now under Melody span, Cooper's lead, WVON still plants the seed. A station that's more than just a dial, a home for the people, mile after mile. What started in the blues now speaks to the heart. WVON soul is a work of art. Final UVON, the voice of the nation, from the roots of the blues, to the celebration. When history calls, you answer the call. WVON, forever in bloom. So turn that dial, let the soul play. WVON, forever leading the way. From 1963 till the end of time. You're the heartbeat of the city, the rhythm and rhyme.